this is gonna be my 3 last minute costume ideas. And so first I'm gonna start off with just my makeup that I'm doing, and I'm just fast forwarding through this because honestly I didn't do a lot. This is kind of my everyday makeup routine, so if you guys want a separate video for that, I can do that, but if I included all the makeup, it really would have taken like a long, it would have been a really long video. So all I really did was just add some BB cream, did my brows, did some mascara, did some concealer, and I bronzed because that's kind of what I do for my everyday makeup routine. So as for makeup, it's really up to you what you want to do. If you guys want to put more, you're more than welcome to, but I kind of wanted the emphasis to kind of be more on the actual costume than on my makeup. So yeah, that is the final look now, and we're gonna move on to the first costume. As you can pretty much guess what it is. All you're gonna need is 2 green construction papers, a printout of the bird, and some double-sided tape, as well as a light blue t-shirt kind of to mimic the sky. And so the first thing you're gonna want to do is take those 2 pieces of construction paper and kind of cut it into kind of that T shape. So I didn't really measure things out, I kind of just went straight for it. So if you would rather measure it out, go right ahead, but this is kind of like a I didn't know what I'm gonna be, and I'm gonna be late for the party if I don't do something quick. So this was kind of that idea. And as for the bird, I honestly just kind of went online and just searched up Flappy Bird, I think Flappy Bird logo. It's really easy to find, and you can use whatever color you want, it doesn't really matter. So once you're done cutting out those 2, you're going to want to lay out your shirt and kind of position it how you want it and cut off any excess that there is. As you can see, these pipes are longer than I need them to be, and I wanted the opening to kind of be in the middle, but it's up to you if you want the opening to be higher or lower. And I thought it'd be really cool if you put more than 1 pipe, but I kind of just made 1. I honestly was gonna do 2, and I don't know how it ended up like this, but I think it would look a lot nicer if there was 2 or 3 pipes. And I think this color pipe is a little lighter, but it's pretty obvious what you are. I don't think you can mistake it. So once you kind of like how everything is, you're gonna want to tape it down is what I'm doing. I'm using double-sided tape just because this is Dom's t-shirt. I didn't want to ruin it or anything like that, but I would suggest to hot glue gun them down because they fell off a lot. If you're going to use double-sided tape, use a lot more than I use. And that is pretty much it. Once you've glued them all, I taped them all, but I would suggest glue them good. But if you guys want to add some white clouds in the background, I think that will help kind of make the sky effect a little more. I just forgot to do it, my bad. But yeah, that's how easy it is. And I just kind of put on some black tights underneath and put my hair in a bun just to kind of make the emphasis just on the t-shirt. I didn't want it to be too much on me. And I did put on some red lips to kind of mimic the bird beak that he has, but any color lip will do because, you know, all the different birds have different colors. And yeah, that's my little duck face. So that's pretty much all there is to this first one. So we're gonna move on to the second one, and this one is actually something I will be wearing to work because we're all gonna be minions at work. And I actually don't like overalls that much, they're not my thing, so I decided to make a pair because I'm not gonna spend money on something I'm only gonna wear once, even though I have. But besides the point, if you guys want to know how to make a pair of overalls, definitely continue watching because that's pretty much all there is to this part of the tutorial. So you're going to want to find 2 pairs of jeans that are either the exact same pair or 2 that are pretty similar in color. And you're just going to want to put 1 pair aside. Doesn't matter which one, just 1 pair you're going to do absolutely nothing to. Look how easy is that. I cut the work in half. So now that you've picked which jeans you want, you're going to want to make sure that the back pocket is kind of blank because you're going to want to print out the logo there, which is actually what I forgot to do. So make sure you do that. And so you're going to now cut off the 2 leg parts of these jeans. and honestly it doesn't have to be nice. They just have to be preferably longer rather than shorter, just so you have extra material just in case. But I really did everything with just one leg, so the other leg was just kind of extra material just in case I needed it. So you also want to cut out that pocket because the minions have a pocket in the front of them. And yeah, I will be wearing this costume for work like I've said, so please follow me on Instagram to see what it looks like and to see what it looks like with the logo on, because I can't believe I forgot. I'm really upset. Yeah, so now I'm done cutting everything. I am going to start with just one of the legs, and you're gonna cut off, I guess, one side of the leg, doesn't matter which one, just make sure not to include the seams, or cut a piece with the seams, but the part that we're going to work with first is the piece without the seams. So you're going to have one piece with seams and you're going to have one piece without. And don't worry too much about the bottom seam there of the jeans. You can keep them, you cannot. It really doesn't make too much of a difference. I just kept it because it was a nice edge, less work for me to do. So now you're going to cut this piece in half because this is going to be your suspenders. And it doesn't matter too much if it's perfectly in half because there was a lot more material than I ended up needing. So as long as it's roughly in half, and if you want to measure out, you're more than welcome to get like the perfect measurement. But it's a lot quicker if you just cut it and, you know, figure it out after. So now I'm just grabbing a bunch of safety pins, which I didn't end up using, but you should, I think, if you have a little more patience than I do. And I'm just measuring out how wide I want my suspenders to be, and as well as a little bit of seam allowance, because as you can see they're really rough edges, so you want to make sure there's enough room for the, you know, kind of to fold in later on. I kind of made it's supposed to have been, because it didn't turn out to be, but it was supposed to have been 2 inches so that when I fold in half an inch on each side it'd be an inch. But I ended up having way more material than I needed, but that's okay. That's how it turned out, and it still looks fine in the end. So kind of just choose your own measurements, but that's the measurements I ended up doing, and I did have to compromise because it just didn't work out exactly as planned. So make sure that you do the exact same thing on the other suspenders, whatever your measurements are, just make sure you do it. And so what I did with gluing, as you can see I use a hot glue gun, I just glued one full side and didn't measure anything, and then just kind of use that as a baseline to measure the other side, and I just kind of used the tape measure all the way up. You could just kind of safety pin it in like I said and kind of remove the safety pin as you go and glue it in. That's debatably more work because this took me a really long time because I kind of have to measure the whole way up. And if the one leg of material isn't enough for you, use the other. You know, it's up to you. It happened to be enough for me, but I actually thought I needed more, so I ended up using the other leg for some more suspenders, but one leg turned out to be enough. Well, the clip is gonna end. I am now just doing the front and the back part of the overalls, and so I didn't want them to be too high up because I just thought the Minions ones weren't that high up, so I just kind of left the leg portion pretty much the way it was. I just kind of cut the leg in half so I have a front piece and a back piece, and then I just kind of did my own measurements. Sorry it's not all in camera, and it does look like I'm not wearing pants, but I swear I am. I'm wearing shorts, that's why it looks like that. And so you're gonna just kind of want to play around with the dimensions. I don't even remember what dimensions I chose to use, but it's really up to you if you want them to be kind of more like proper overalls. You're gonna want like to use that other leg and make it higher up, but I just kind of made do with what I had. And let's all be real, we all know who made those Minion overalls. It was obviously Dr. Nefario, and I don't think he would make that very nice overalls. So just remember that you most likely will make better overalls than he will. Just keep that in mind. So once you kind of have the rough shape that you want, Just remember that any rough edges you have, to leave a little leeway to kind of fold it in, because you're not going to be able to see on camera, but I'm kind of measuring right now out how big I want it, and then I'm going to cut off any extra material, and then I'm just going to glue gun that raw edge that I'm kind of working on right now. And make sure you do the same thing to the back side that you do to the front side. And now this next part is just basically putting it all together. I think Sterling kind of wanted to help me there. And so I started with the back piece first, and all you really do is kind of just place it where you want it, and make sure you kind of put that nicer seam up top just to kind of give you a clean edge so you don't have to worry about it looking not as good. So a tip with the overalls, I would suggest to safety pin in the suspenders first before you glue them, because it's just a lot easier, and I kind of had to rip them off and glue them back on because they weren't in the right places. But just a tip, safety pin them in first and then kind of see how you like it before you glue them in. It'll save you a lot of work. But that is pretty much it for the overalls. Now all you gotta do is put on a yellow shirt or a purple shirt if you want to be the evil minion and wear black overalls instead. And I just kept my hair up in a bun again, because this is honestly how I look when I go to work. I don't even put on the makeup that I have right now. I'm pretty all natural when I'm at work. So definitely follow me on Instagram if you want to see how I really will look like on that day. I'll put my Instagram name down below so you can see that. But that's pretty much it to the costume. Very basic, very easy, besides the fact that I had to make the overalls, but it really wasn't that hard at all. And don't forget to put that logo on that pocket. It looks really weird without it. I think it'll look a lot better with that logo. And yeah, we are going to move on to the final costume. So all you gotta do for this costume is put a couple cookies on your face. You're gonna use liquid liner to kind of I just used it to kind of outline the apples of my cheeks. And then after you do that, I'm just cleaning off any bad edges that I had. And you're gonna now want to darken your cheeks, kind of to make it look more like cookies. So I'm just using some bronzer. It just was cookie colored to me. And kind of layered it on. If you have some darker foundation, use that. But this I thought was the perfect cookie color. And so once you're finished with that, you're gonna want to add the chocolate chips. And I decided that I wanted the chocolate chips to look kind of more faded. And so I actually used some shadow rather than the liquid liner that I used on the outside. But it's up to you, kind of how the look you want. I was supposed to do a bite out of the cookie, I kind of forgot to. Once you're done with the cookies, you're just going to want to spray your face so that the cookies don't smudge and you look weird with some brown on your face. And then I just added some pink to my lips, just kind of give me, some nice nude pink lips. And that's pretty much it for the face. Like I said, it was really easy. If you wanted to add more, you can, but that was pretty much what I decided to do. Now I'm just putting my hair down because I am going to be wearing a hat, so I just kind of had some dry shampoo in my hair, and now I'm just going to brush it out. You can do more with your hair if you want. Like I said, I just want to have the emphasis more on the costume than anything else. And that's pretty much it. Put on whatever blue you have in your closet, and if you're like me and have a Cookie Monster hat, throw that on too. Don't forget to bring some real cookies. Just don't share them. They're a Cookie Monster. Not the sharing the Cookie Monster. You don't want to eat them all. So use the hashtag LMHC